Wallace.
And I have Don Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross-country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.
Welcome to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here tonight. Jon, we're going to be talking about Great Meadows, Ocala, some other great things. We have Phillip on the show later on, and Ann Hardaway Taylor is coming in as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a big night, and we've got some great results from the past weekend. And then we also are going to talk a little bit about the AUCs coming up.
I know, that's going to be exciting as well.
So first thing, obviously, Great Meadow was just this past weekend, big event. I've actually never even been. Have you been up there?
I have. Elisa was in the 2016 selection trials for Rio.
Right.
Yep.
I remember actually, I have vivid memory of her jumping through the water.
Fence 5 and landing in the water.
Yes.
And actually, for everybody listening, it was probably a godsend because that was Johnny, and the backfield of that was causing some issues on some footing and stuff back in the day, back in 2016.
Right.
So he ended up going to Burley.
That's
so
a pretty good trip.
It was her only fall into water on him, so.
It happens.
Or only fall.
Yeah. So now that we've brought poor Elisa down.
I know, right? We'll bring her back up.
We did have Phillip up there, who, like you said, we have coming on later, and we're going to get into all the details, but he won on Fernhill, Singapore, which I put together after we had talked to him. That horse is owned in part by Dave Voss, who is a huge contributor to the sport. He obviously owns part of Fernhill, Singapore, but he is big in the FEI and on all the U.S. safety committees.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
just
that.
Spearheading all the frangible technology that's out there and making sure that it gets sort of the rules make sense and that it gets used where it should get used. So
cool.
I was really excited for Dave to do that. And Dave actually as well, Dave Voss, just had surgery for a double hernia.
Oh.
And so best wishes to Dave for a good speedy recovery on that one.
That would not be, speedy recovery on that.
So Phillip won that on Fernhill, Singapore. He did have a little bit of a moment jumping into the water. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah, jumped up the neck. I was actually, funny enough, watching that with Leslie Law, and Leslie was like, see, other people do it too.
It happened.
That's why Phillip's so good.
It happened.
But he did great. And then Will Coleman with Off the Record was second.
Right.
And then Lauren was third, which I think is really interesting because Lauren is the alternate for Buccalo for the Nations Cup. And Tammy, who is on the Nations Cup team with My Bomb, just had a competition over in Europe that did not go real well.
No. She just pulled up. Nothing went wrong.
Okay.
I watched it.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
That's not what the scoreboard said.
No, she just pulled up. She only ran a third of the loop.
With My Bomb?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what she posted. I was out for a gallop. We weren't going to run in cross country.
Okay, well that's breaking news to me.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
The horse
cool.
is great.
All right, well, this will be interesting because with Lauren third there, I think that's obviously great for her.
Right.
So yes, we'll have to just keep an eye on how all that shakes
out.
out.
I did the same thing you did, and then Tammy explained everything. They weren't even going to run it cross country.
Okay.
And then they decided
well,
to
that makes me relieved for Tammy.
I mean, and Matt Flynn did the same thing with Wizard at Ocala.
Yep.
And he only did the first loop. So
absolutely.
it
Yeah,
makes
absolutely.
sense.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's interesting. So that's good to know.
But back to Lauren and Vermiculus, I can tell you that Lauren, I guess, has been given a little bit of a rap for always being a little bit conservative on time. Mm-hmm. She was going for it. I think she felt really like she could press these horses. She knew them really well, and she did a great job.
Yeah, so she was third and fourth. She had 0.8 of a time penalty on Vermiculus and was double clear
on Monte Carlo.
On Monte Carlo, yep. But really, it was just sort of a who's who of eventing in America. You had Phillip in first, Coleman in second, Lauren in third and fourth. You had Will again on Chin Tonic, which that is such a cool horse. And
that one we were all going, wow, is that the 4-star?
I know.
He's taken his time.
He has. I'm excited to see that one there because I'll be honest, I wasn't sure it was that horse.
And it looked super.
Yep. And then
really
you had
good.
Emma Klugman on Bendigo, and then Phillip again there, Hannah Sue, like the list keeps
And
going.
then
It was a really,
Marilyn was leading and had a clear show jump on a 23, but unfortunately, at the first water, it was a little gnarly.
it was gnarly. I was worried about her. I'm glad she's okay.
But she got, it hung her leg. It didn't rotational. It just kind of twisted and fell.
Yeah. I thought she was riding pretty fast
I did too.
and aggressive, and I was thinking as I was watching her go, like, take a pull, take a little half halt, and I give her credit in that she was out there to win.
Right.
And sometimes
Well,
you're
I
out there
think
to win, and it doesn't always go your
it's
way.
the pressure, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you got to make some decisions, but it's unfortunate. Sorry, Marilyn and RF Scandalous, but there's another day. I think
Yeah.
she's doing the AECs.
Yeah, she'll be fine. If there's one thing about Marilyn, she is a stone cold competitor.
That's true.
She'll be fine.
This is true.
And so then you and I were actually here in Ocala. We stayed close to home and did the Ocala summer horse trials.
You competed against yourself. You won.
I did. I beat myself.
That is amazing.
Yep.
Good for you. That were good runs for you.
They were good. We just get the first run
That
out
was
of the way with
Archie.
those. Archie won it, and Polo was second, so that was fun.
That's a cool horse. I like that one.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. And so we actually have a bunch of video of that as well. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, good for you, but you're missing out. You need to check it out on YouTube because there's a ton of video there. And one thing before we get into all of these results is you'll see we've got video, guys, of all these horses running cross country. And what we really want to do, Rick, is show more video of more people from events everywhere. So if any of you guys are out there who want to see yourselves on the Jon and Rick show or have video you want to send in to us, we'd love to feature it here. So send it in and we will do our best
Where
to
do
get
they
as much
send
of
it,
it on.
John?
Well, they just send it to us, right?
Well, who's us?
I guess
mean,
it would be to our email. Is that right, Joel? Just email it into us. So yeah, you can send it to us on the text, which you'll see in the commercials.
Sure. Rick at teamwallace.org.
Yeah, or Jonathan Holling at msn.com, and you'll see it down at the bottom of the screen there.
That's cool.
So
Back to
it's in there.
Ocala. So had an advanced intermediate.
Yep, so we had the
going.
advanced intermediate. So you had Leslie on his
Voltaire.
Voltaire de Tray, which is just
Right?
such a great
Elisa
cross-country
was
horse.
winning that division.
She
just had time.
Riot gear,
Yeah.
right? Yep. And you had Dana Cook on that
Effie,
awesome
Mississippi.
little
Oh.
paint mare,
Yeah.
Effie, Mississippi, and then Leslie again on First Class, which is such a cool horse.
It is very cool.
I watched him ride that one through the water, and it looks
Yeah.
super. And then, we had this girl, Elisa Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty good on riot gear. And then the Canadians came in there with Kyle on Ready or Not, and Carl Slisak on Fernhill Wishes.
Ready or Not's brother, right here.
Right there. There we go. So it was a great competition.
It was, and then the intermediates went well. Lisa and Leslie were competing for having the most horses going.
Right.
I didn't even know how they made it through. I mean,
was so
5
hot.
horses going.
It's interesting because there was a lot of talk about the heat, and everybody was really concerned about the horses. And obviously, I'm concerned about the horses, and you do
It
everything
was the
you can.
people that was having more
But
trouble.
the people were the people struggled.
I mean, I know Briggs, Elisa. I only had one, so it wasn't so bad. But those two, even with 2 running, the heat was hard.
was-
But the
it was-
horses seemed to recover really well.
I think as long as you kept them cool, and the thing, like I said to all my people, was like, guys, you're going to maybe do 20 minutes worth of work before your dressage test.
Right.
And then
Keep it
short.
short.
Keep it short. You go right from there straight to show jumping warm up within an hour, so you don't have to do a lot on the flat to loosen them up again.
Right.
Jump a half a dozen jumps. Go jump your show jump round.
Hit back.
And then we, for a lot of our horses, went immediately to cross country. We did 3 jumps and went. So we hit them with ice as much as we could in between, and all of ours actually did really well.
I think I didn't see any horse out there that had, it was warm.
Yeah.
But I think we also train in warm weather.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I did have one student come up to me. She was walking up to me as I was standing by the start box, and she had this look on her face, and I said, "Don't tell me it's hot." And she was like, "But it's hot."
It's hot.
I said, "I know.
It's so hot.
You knew it was going to be hot. It was hot when you entered. You're going." And she did, and she was thrilled and had a great go. So,
Well, good. Well, I know a lot of people had a good time there. It was hot,
Yeah, it was hot.
but it was hot all over the country. So
Yeah, I keep getting text actually from Peter Gray, who's up in Virginia, and he sends me the daily weather report up there, and it's hotter there than it is here.
yeah,
So
I saw the Virginia has a red bloop over it. So
a red bloop.
bloop meaning very
Yep,
hot.
Yeah, it is hot there for sure. So we've got, like you said, Ann Hardaway Taylor coming up. We've got Phillip Dutton coming up, where we get to talk to him about Great Meadow. But one of the other things we want to talk about is Terranova.
I know. Terranova is an event happening down, and can you pronounce?
It's Myakka City.
Myakka City, just east of Sarasota beaches.
Yep.
I went down there, Joel. We did a piece on it. What a beautiful! It's like at least $100 million facility.
It looks like it's gonna be unreal, and they just got the CCI 4-star long.
Exactly,
Yep.
for the fall,
Yep.
right? So that event happens. Let me get the information.
So what's the opening date?
The opening date is September 7th.
So that's
Tuesday after the AECs.
Right, okay, so everybody needs to be ready to get your entries in, because I do know they say they're going to take everybody, but I think they're not sure how many they're going to actually get. And
Right.
I think people need to be ready to enter that when it opens, because I have a feeling that that's going to fill up really quick.
So the exciting thing about Terranova, the owners, and what they're doing there is they want to try to encourage a full spectrum of levels all the way down to the beginner novice. And so they're going to have prize money, $40,000 in prize money for the FEI divisions, but also $1,500 prize money for each of the divisions all the way down to beginner novice.
So I'm just going to put this out there. If anybody wants me to ride their horses, as long as they're super competitive and I get the prize money, And do it. Send them my way.
You're on it. Well,
they need to be fast and careful
and sound
and brave and move really good. As long as we got that taken care of, I'm
You're
all
good.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a ton of prize money.
Yep.
And then Sarah was showing some videos and photos on social media of the gala planes down there, and they look beautiful.
They're completely irrigated, and if they're not irrigated with the guns, they have the system that rolls down in waters. And I know when we were there, Joel and I, the grass was just getting established, but it's very established now, she said. The footing in the rings, they have
it's beautiful.
like 5 football fields of rings.
Yeah, I think it's Martin Collins rings, right? Yep.
And it's amazing. We're not going to be able to stay in the main barn, but if you see the main barn,
I just want to go near the main barn.
It's
I feel like that will class me up, just being near it from what I've seen.
Opening date is September 7th. The event runs over October 22nd through the 24th.
And really good officials there too, but they got Christian Landau, they've got Marilyn Payne.
Yep.
Anybody else that's on there?
They're all good. Let's see.
Everybody's awesome. It's a great event.
Yeah, very good. So let's go through the prize money breakdown. For the 4-star, it's $17,500 for the complete division, split up. I don't know how far they.
That's under FEI rules, so that's,
Yep. And then they do $10,000 for the 3-star, $7,500 for the 2-star, and they have a 1-star, so $5,000. 1-star is the modified, $5,000 for the 1-star. Ribbons through 12th place in the FEI, and ribbons through 8th in the horse trials. Look, guys, it's one event that you don't want to miss, and if you can fit it into your schedule, you need to get there.
And the other thing that Sarah mentioned that I think is just worth talking about was the VIP stuff.
Yep.
And the thing she said to me that made me the most excited about it was that you didn't have to buy a whole table, because a lot of these places you got to go and you got to buy a whole table, and it's a big commitment, and even if you get your friends together, it's a lot of organization, but you can go and I guess just buy a spot at a table.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely partake in the VIP stuff.
I like to be a VIP.
And,
I'm not
and
sure
also
I can.
what she did say, live
boss.
streaming is going to be there. Greatness of Joel Wiesner over there, EQTV.
Yep.
They're going to have a huge jumbo monitor in the center.
The Jumbotron is going to be out there for everybody to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how exciting it's going to be there, and I can't wait to be there.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. So we're looking
We
forward to
have
that.
horses going.
So do we. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back here.
Are we going to talk about the American Eventing Championships real quick?
Oh, we did say that. Well, let's talk about them when we get over here with Ann. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? No?
Yeah, I thought we were doing 12 in this one, but that's okay. If you're on the 10,
I think we're at it.
We're at 12?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, we got to go away.
So we got to take a break. We're up against the clock. Joel's giving me the sign, go! So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Ann Hardaway Taylor. We'll do a little talk about the AECs as well. We'll be right back. Want to advertise on the Jon and Rick Show? contact Jon at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
When it comes time to compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That's why Elemental Fit Lab, the home of CrossFit antics, is my home gym. Coach Vilma and her team create a fun, welcoming environment for athletes of all levels. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, Elemental Fit Lab will guide you towards a stronger, healthier version of you. Mention the Jon and Rick Show to get 3 free personal training sessions with enrollment.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information. Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, show-safe, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are now in our Stress Less segment, and we're really fortunate to be joined by Ann Hardaway. So Ann, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure and honor to be invited.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, I love having Ann here. Ann and I was calculating in my head, Ann.
Let's not.
1987 is when I moved to Noonan, Georgia. So
yeah.
At the Goshes, I was across the street. But we'll get into that a little bit. But Ann has successfully been competing in eventing for many, many, many years. She was on the '88 Soul team and Olympic team, and she has competed, from what I've heard, at every horse trial in England. Is that correct? Almost
pretty
every.
Close. But I do think I've done most 3-day events.
Like badminton,
in
Burley.
One way or the other, badminton, Burley. And also, like, it was so much fun to get on the ferry, and you'd go to Saumur, Buccalo, Lemulin, Breda. There were,
Gosh,
there's a lot,
cool.
and it was fun to do that. And I think I probably managed in some fashion, form, or the other to go to most of them.
That's pretty cool. So let's take everybody back though. So Ann Hardaway, is your family's long established in Columbus, Georgia, with the Midland Hunt. So tell us about your childhood. How did you get up into eventing? And I know Ben,
my dad. My father was a mad, keen fox hunter, and he was passionate with that. And we had Midland Pony Club was based at the Midland stables, and we all had a ball, and we played Cowboys and Indians in the woods, and we went to all the regional rallies, and
You probably can't say Cowboys and Indians.
We can. Yeah, we can.
So anyway, but we just had a lot of fun. I hunted with him on the weekends, and he supported. And then I did do 1 year of college, but then I somehow wangled my way.
It's funny.
Sounds like him.
A lot of people in this sport have a similar story.
But I went to the University of Kentucky. I had a horse there. I had a great barn, really, really nice people, and I competed at not very high level, but. And then I kind of ended up working for Wash Bishop, who was a very good friend of ours as well. And but my father said I could only do that if I had, and Wash worked with Jimmy Wofford a bit as well, and he said I could only do that if I took lessons as well. And then I kind of wangled my way around to not going back to college and doing what was then the DeBroke championship
the
thing.
preliminary championship.
And I thought that was a big deal to me.
That
was a big deal.
And it was a big can't I did compete there. can't remember how I did, but it wasn't too bad. And
you can say you did great. Nobody will know.
Yeah, I know, but it was okay. And then, but then I just sort of wangled my way into. I was supposed to go back the second semester that year, but I just didn't
quite make it.
Yeah, so
That's fair.
So about your father, he's famous, like you said, for his Hardaway
his hound
hounds.
breeding. He was he knew more about the genetics and
developed the whole Hardaway hound.
Yeah.
And I even have read about him in which he was challenged that his hounds weren't as good as he said they were, and he won that challenge. And it was a pretty good story.
I think that was more about I think we were in Rappahannock, because I think I was at that trip, and this one man whose name I can't remember, which is terrible, but
it's all right.
He challenged him, saying, "Your dog, you can't say their deer broke."
Right. So do you know what deer broke means?
No.
Well, that they won't run deer.
Okay.
So
because the deer run in front of them, and it's hard for a hound to pass that up.
Right.
And
so you want them obviously not to go for the deer.
You don't want them to run the deer because the deer will take them
right
where you don't want to go.
Where you don't want to go, and you don't want them.
They're
want them running
the deer are like an ally of the fox.
Yes. Yes.
Right. They're like they run distraction.
They hope that there's a deer on the way.
Right.
So anyway, apparently all these deer went through the whole pack, and the hounds wheeled the other direction, and then they killed the fox, and my father was like, "Okay, get down on your knees
and apologize
and kiss my foot," or whatever,
And I think I'm because I did some reading, so based on that, your father came out with a biography or autobiography
he wrote a book
called
Believe.
No,
it's called Never Outfoxed.
Never Outfoxed, but there's another one, something that he said, Believe, and I don't know, but that
might have been a saying, but the book he wrote is called Never Outfoxed. And it was incredible, because at first he had some ghost writer, and that really didn't suit him.
Right.
And then he basically wrote it.
Well, he was a funny man.
He was a funny man.
I mean, he lived until he was 98 years old, but I can just tell, and I knew him just from a distance, because like I said, I grew up in that area. I was already 18, but I would see him. But just reading some of his inserts is pretty funny. He was a decorated war hero from World War II.
He was incredible. He landed on Omaha Beach.
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty amazing man.
And then he said they got there. I wish he had written those stories down, because they are incredible. They said they got there. The guy from England drove up
to Omaha Beach.
Omaha Beach.
Okay,
Omaha Beach. Fire, the machine guns are coming.
Absolutely.
And the guy stops, so they drive off. Well, the tank sinks.
Right. Yeah,
and
tanks don't typically
my father's
float.
like, I probably can't quite say exactly what he probably said, but I think he held a gun to that man's head and said, "You get me closer, or you take me and my boys back to England."
Right.
Yeah.
And anyway, they went in closer, so they got up there, and they were supposed to meet somebody who, of course, wasn't there.
Right.
So he's like, right, okay. They got up through the beach, which is a miracle, you know,
Right.
and then up at the top of the hill or whatever, and he ran into a commander, and he was commander of a tank division.
I know, it was pretty cool.
Wow.
And then I loved this. The boys brought this monkey with them that was a pet, and he was not a happy. I mean, that would not.
Wait, so they in the tank?
In the tanks. So we got the monkey, right? But my father, he was lovely, but you did not cross him.
He
was incredibly funny, very entertaining. He commanded a room when he was in there, but you didn't really want to cross him. So I'm sure those boys got some.
So did the monkey make it to the top? That's
The
the
monkey
question.
made it to the top, but the monkey became very popular because the first time they got air raided by the German fighter planes, the monkey lived through that, and then it ended up where when they were going on the road, on the tracks or whatever they were, the monkey could hear the planes before they could.
Oh.
So when the monkey,
It's like the little bird they take in the mine.
Canary.
exactly. So when the monkey started screaming and jerking on his chain that he was up on top of the tank with, they all hit the ditch
Wow.
Crazy.
because that monkey could hear those planes before the people could,
That is-
goodness.
and
for the
he
monkey.
became very popular.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
Well, I know your dad was very cool. He lived a long life, 98.
Yeah, 98. He was incredible.
So
yeah.
was he proud of you
Oh, I think so.
for your horse? I mean, where did you get the horse that you went to the Seoul Olympics was Tarzan?
Actually,
I love that horse.
Yeah, I did too. And
So tell us about that.
Incredibly, my father bought me lots of horses, but incredibly, this one time, I went to Ireland. I was actually with Karen O'Connor and William Micklem, and we tried Tarzan. I bought him, and my mother and I bought him. So she was
Mother's name Sarah?
Sarah Hardaway. So, and because my father bought me plenty of horses,
But this
but
was
this
you
one
and your mother.
happened to be me and my mother's, and he was a very unusual soul.
But Olympics didn't go quite like you planned, and
nightmare.
I got to tell you, I don't know if you know what happened, but he tried his heart out.
He did.
Thought
He
he
wasn't
was
being naughty,
No.
and there were like 6 horses, and one
That
of
did
them
the same
being
thing.
David Green, other one being John Watson. Those people had done a lot of stuff, and these horses came to, and I think
It was a big oxer.
It was an oxer.
Well,
it wasn't even that big, but it was at the
I don't know the whole story,
It was
but
at the top of the hill.
I do. I want to hear about it because I want to hear the whole story, and everybody that's watching wants to hear the whole story. But we need to take
listening.
a quick break,
Yeah, stress less.
and then we're going to come back and we're going to hear all about it.
Okay.
Sounds
All right. So I want to absolutely say thank you to Stress Less. It is a great product. Probably would have helped Tarzan. Just
Would have helped
takes
me. It would have helped me at that time.
might have
I
helped
can
you at that
assure
time too. So if you, any of you guys watching or listening, if you have any horses that struggle with competition nerves, stress, anything at home, it is a
Stress
great
less.
supplement.
All these horses are
We use it on a lot of the horses, and it's a completely FEI and USEF legal supplement.
very legal.
It's very, very legal, and it works great. So make sure you guys check it out, and we're going to be right back with Ann after this quick break. Hi, I'm John Halling, and this is my wife Jen, and we run Halling Eventing out of Willow Run Farm here in Ocala, Florida. We love our Jump for Joy jumps.
We are standing in front of one of my favorites, which is our Jump for Joy angled brush, which we have up on our bank complex so we can prepare the horses for the 3 days that are coming up. And it is very mobile, and we can put it anywhere we need to give the horses the questions that they need to see before we go and compete.
So we love them for cross country. We also have them in our show jump ring. They're great. You never have to paint them. Maintenance is super easy. And like Jen was saying, the shoulder brush here and any of the portable cross-country jumps that Jump for Joy makes are great. They're easy to move around, change the courses. We love them.
You can put them in the water jump, you can put them anywhere you want.
So if you're looking for some new show jumps, some new cross-country jumps, check out Jump for Joy.
Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, show-safe, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Welcome to Terranova Equestrian Center, located in Mayaca City, Florida, just a short drive from some of the nation's top beaches.
As a competitor, one of the most important things we look for when planning our competition calendar is the quality of course design and footing for our beloved equine athletes.
We are so excited to host our inaugural event, the event at Terranova, this fall. This event was thoughtfully created by some of the most innovative and experienced minds in our sport.
The courses are run over gorgeous terrain, and we are proud to offer custom drainage and irrigation throughout all levels of competition. Terranova is certainly the gold standard, with 6 Wordley Martin GGT arenas and a Captain Mark Phillips designed and Eric Bull built cross-country course, complete with frangible technology.
We hope to create a special experience for all levels of riders.
Whether you're experiencing your first horse show or are a seasoned Olympic athlete, Terranova is excited to welcome you.
Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique uses manual pressure and stretching to release points of restriction, leading to freer movement, reduced soreness, and restored range of motion. He has a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle. You can quickly identify and correct any balance issues and can adjust your saddle on site. I personally have Grant work on all of my event horses to keep them feeling their best before, during, and after their competitions. Grant is based in Florida year-round, but regularly travels to Georgia, Tennessee, and the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. Ann Hardaway is here with us. You're going to tell us about Tarzan, your Olympic mount at Seoul.
I was in Seoul and we'd had a pretty good run. And then we came to an oxer and I run up the hill. I see what I thought was a perfectly fine distance and he jumps into the middle of it.
And that happened to a bunch of horses.
It happened to about 6 or 8, a lot famous people's horses, not just David Green,
not just Ann,
John Watson, not just me. And I thought, what on earth? And I guess there was a long way, but it wasn't very nice. And then I just thought, what on earth? And I came again, and he did it again.
And so Scott Keach was here, and he was talking about that fence a few shows ago.
He was there.
And his theory was that there was a bit of a lighting issue at that fence for a short period of time during the competition. So were most of those horses
Maybe
near each
so.
other in
I
the
was
schedule?
like the second. I was about 11 o'clock in the morning, I think. I mean, I was kind of the second rider.
Right.
So. But I actually have thought about it a lot because it was quite distressing.
Right, yeah.
And I think that there were so many drops on that course. I might be totally off base, but you ran up to the oxer and you had a stride or two on the flat, and then you jumped it, and then you had a stride or two on the flat, but
it dropped back down.
Visually, it was a really steep downhill. It was very mountainous where that place was. It was different. And I just think the horses thought that they had a big drop behind it, and I don't really. Maybe the lighting.
Just all kinds of things.
But it was, but I think that they landed and they had a stride or so on flat ground, and there was actually a track when they landed, which was a bit weird. I don't know, it's a bit weird. There's a picture of that, and I didn't really remember that, but there's a picture of that. But then right after that, the land went down really steep to a combination, and whether they just thought they had had enough drops or what, they just put down in the middle of it.
It's interesting because I know with modern course design, one thing that designers talk about a lot is you typically don't want to drop over a spread fence because the horses do try to get down, and so if it's a table that's got a lot of spread to the top of it, the horses are going to hit the back side of it. So it would make sense if it's an oxer.
And they think they're going to drop.
And to be fair, you did have a stride maybe on flat ground at the back of it, but then the ground went down. But when you were riding up to it, it just looked like the ground disappeared.
Sure. Yeah. Well.
So whether that's
obviously
what
it tricked
happened,
a bunch of good horses.
It was.
Well,
it
that
was
your
very disappointing.
I know it was, to get all the way up there. How
bummer.
did you? So after the Olympics, when did you get to England?
Well, that was 88,
Eight.
and then he did Kentucky in 89 and was like third or something.
Right.
And then Lars Cederholm was training the Americans, and he talked me into going over to England, and that was okay. But it didn't work out that great. But then I just ended up. I thought, well, I'm not going to. I brought 3 or 4 horses over there with me, and I thought, well, I'm not just going to one horse. We were galloping in a field, which I might not have galloped in, but I didn't really have a choice. And
Right. You were told what to do.
My Tarzan cracked his splint bone.
Oh.
But so anyway, I ended up. I thought, well, I'm not going to come over here with all these horses and do nothing.
Right.
So I ended up moving around, and I ended up. I went to Sandy, who was not Phillips then, but Pfluger's place for a while, and then. That she was into dressage then, and then I ended up moving to Milton Keynes, where Nigel Taylor was, and then I married. You know, we got married, and I ended up staying there for a long time. But,
and so you stayed there, and then you guys created Aston Walls.
And then we have Aston Walls, which is pretty amazing what it pulls off. I mean, they've had the July horse trials. They've just had the August horse trials. They probably run 1,500 horses.
And I think that's really interesting, and we actually need you here because you guys routinely run 1,500 horses.
Well,
we'd
run 300 a day.
Okay. The AECs next week starts Tuesday and runs through the following Sunday, and they're running 1,000 horses. And I could have my numbers wrong, but I've been told that that's all they think that they can do from Tuesday to Sunday. And I'm thinking, surely Tuesday to Sunday you could run 1,500 horses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They just
Ann,
needed
see,
you.
Ann says it, guys.
Ann says you can do it.
Yeah,
You can do
1,
it.
2, 3.
Well,
4.
the other thing that happened over there is you have twin sons that are absolutely charming, Ben and Neil. I know them
I
really
know them
well.
very well. Yeah.
They're a hoot.
They're
probably
quite
spitting image of
extraordinary.
this man right here.
I also know what I mean. I have a daughter who
and a
is
daughter.
25.
And
Right.
she's
How much
events
is
a
that?
lot.
Sarah,
Grace.
Grace.
Taylor, and she has a string of horses.
Is she in England?
Oh yeah, she's in England.
And she's been very
2
successful.
and 3 star. She just did she got a lovely, he's very unusual Irish horse. It's taken a long time to be able to get on him.
Good for her.
Normally, but he just did his first 3-star double. I think she had one down. She had one down, but he was clear in the cross country. He's a cool horse, and she's bought and sold her. She's done really well for herself.
Good for her.
And
she runs.
She probably owns 20. Well, she keeps them at Aston.
Right. Okay. So
But
she runs a
probably
business out of
has
Aston.
20. She's got probably 20 horses that are hers. That she.
20.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow.
So
And
the
she's bought-
family sickness runs through her as well.
Yeah, she
Everybody's
didn't
got to
miss
have
it.
horses.
She didn't miss that obsession. So she's bought a bunch of them as 2 and 3 year olds and 4 year old.
But
she's a very
and she's there. Ben.
Yeah, and
is-
Ben's here still. Neil's back in England at the minute.
But you're going to station yourself
Yep,
here.
I'm going to be here
We're
for a while.
excited.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I've had so much fun jumping my horses at the World Equestrian Center, which is an amazing place, and the people are really nice, which is amazing. And
She's doing the meter. I watched her. I was telling her the other night at dinner. I watched her do the meter 30 at WEC, and
Right.
I was like, "You have the most amazing eye because you just
bless
went
you.
around. You do." I was sitting there watching her go. Look at you go. It was a really good round.
that's so
It was. Look,
sweet.
I know you said you made the one mistake down the one
Yeah.
line, but I was impressed. I was like, I wish I could
Yeah,
march down to a meter 30.
And I love that I've got 3 horses at the minute.
Another Tarzan.
And I've called the one Tarzan because he's the spitting image of the original Tarzan, which I didn't really buy him because of that, but I got him home and I was like, oh my, and he's also, not that it's anything to do with Tarzan, but my father bred a lot of Galobays.
Yep.
He was trying to breed hunt horses for himself. That
Right.
probably wasn't quite the right mix, but anyway.
But it made good event horses.
I've ended up with a couple of really good ones, and this horse is by Quickstar, who is by Galabay, and I was attracted to him probably because of that. But he's a very, 4-square horse.
Yeah.
But I love him. He's 6, and he's jumping around the 125s, and
Yeah, and I've seen you
Very
out.
brave.
I've seen you
He's
working
amazing.
with Dennis Mitchell. Who else?
yeah, I've enjoyed him. He's great.
Right.
And then he went up north, and now a
Molly.
girl named Molly Kinney,
Yep.
who is also wonderful. She's
Met
been
her the other
helping
day.
me get in the ring, and you have to have somebody setting the jump for you.
Yeah,
It's not
you-
like in England where you can just kind of jump the jumps. You have to lay claim. It's a new program.
It's a little bit that way at the events over here now too.
Yeah, it's different. That's different.
Yep.
But you really have to have somebody there to set the jump for you. Otherwise, you don't
get
really
left
get to
out.
jump a jump.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that is
You have
true.
to- You have to get real friendly with people.
And the
otherwise.
language, I say to people, "Oh, I was pushing my trolley," which
Right.
is your shopping cart,
Right.
and they're like,
Yeah, there's a little
"You
bit of a
were
language
doing
barrier.
what?"
Yeah.
Or the lorry. I still call the thing the lorry, and they're like,
Yeah, you're the only person I know from Georgia with an English accent.
"Well, it's
It's not really English.
not
All
really
right,
English accent."
English verbiage.
English verbiage.
So
yes.
I got a question. Is Midland still operating?
Oh, absolutely. My brother-in-law Mason hunts the hounds, and they have the hounds, and his son.
So Mason's the one that took over the family's company.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the
The Southern
and the
Concrete.
hounds.
Yep.
And then his son is very involved as well, and the barns are still running.
That's great.
There are kids, there's some kids there that have horses there, and there's a few boarders, and
So
the
it's still-
hunt still goes out out of there.
right. Well,
a
very
couple-
cool.
once a
Is that
week
where
or-
Paige goes back and forth to? Does she go back up there?
No, she pretty much keeps her horses down here.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's your sister, Paige. You have 3 sisters.
I have 3 sisters. One is married to Mary Lou is married to Mason, who runs the foxhounds all the times, and she hunts and she leads the different fields, and she's very into doing that and has done an amazing
What a cool
job.
thing.
And then Susanna doesn't really ride anymore. She's lived part in New York and part in Georgia, and she's the one next to me. Then there's Mary Lou, and then Paige is my oldest sister. But
Well-
Paige is riding and doing really well and jumping.
I know she is. I'm
Yeah.
glad to have her down here too. I know
Yeah.
her as well.
No, it's been fun.
So
It's been
I
really
just
fun.
appreciate you coming on the show. I wanted to have you on. And several times you were in England and we couldn't quite get you here. But here you are, and you leave for England tomorrow.
I go tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I'm going to go visit Grace, and Neil's back in England now,
Yeah.
and so I'll go visit everybody.
Well, good. Well, we'll look forward to you coming back. I hear you might be bringing something with you.
I'm hoping I'll bring a horse or 2 back, yeah.
Very
Perfect.
cool.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. Always a good time hanging out and an honor. And we're going to be right back with Philip, who just had a big win at Great Meadow in
Seeing
Fernhill, Singapore. So we're going to check in with him. We'll be right back. The holidays may seem far away, but they're really just around the corner. If you're looking for a heartwarming and custom gift to give this year, consider commissioning a piece by Tegan Henderson at Creature Feature Portraits. Choose between glasses or canvas to immortalize your beloved horses and pets. Creature Feature Portraits provides affordable and classy artwork for you and your home. Find Tegan on Instagram at creature_feature_portraits, and to inquire about commissions and pricing, text her at 774-278-1492.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Deco Pony has specialized in making striking, durable, and affordable custom show and barn accessories for a decade. Our exclusive line of custom products has allowed us to create hundreds of beautiful aisles for riders across the globe. Let us make your dream barn aisle a reality with our custom stall guards, halter guards, wrap holders, and stall plaques. Deco Pony is the exclusive online retailer for QHP Tack in Holland, making it easy to complete your look. Follow Deco Pony on Instagram for all the latest.
Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, show-safe, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance.
Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are here with U.S. Olympian and eventing king, Phillip Dutton. Phillip, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, it's great to be back with you guys.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you. So you obviously just got back from Tokyo, but before we get into that, I think the most current thing is that you just won the CCI4 long up. Was it long or short? Actually, it was short. Wasn't it?
Short. Yeah.
Up at Great Meadow on Fernhill, Singapore. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's been a long slog with that horse to get him to get the best out of him. He's always had so much potential, but never been the easiest one for me to get right at the events. He's sort of got a fair bit of tension in him, but I don't know, the last 6 months has started to come together, and all credit to all the gang at the farm while I was away that they really gave him a lot of attention, and he was in a good position after dressage. So, I sort of let his head loose on the cross country to try to be competitive, and we end up just sneaking by with a win just ahead of Will Coleman.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. And so you've had that horse since he was 4, is that right?
Yeah, so Julie Richards imported him from Carol G, and I saw him and was kind of love at first sight, if you know what I mean. He was, oozed talent and potential, and so I bought him then and was able to get some people to go in on him, and so I brought him up through the ranks, and he did his first 5-star at Kentucky this year. Wasn't that competitive, but jumped around clear on the cross country and the show jumping, and so that gave me sort of a wisp of what we could do, and so I've sort of been working him pretty hard since then, and he's starting to respond now.
And so how old is he now?
I believe he's 11 or 12.
Okay, yeah, so it's been a process then getting him there for sure. So well done. And so what's the plan then for this autumn? Are you going to plan on taking him to Maryland for the 5-star there, or?
Yeah, no, I'll probably run him one more time before then. And I think it's really exciting to have this 5-star at Maryland. And, it's in my backyard nearly. It's very close to where we live. And so I drive by it quite a bit and see all the cross-country jumps going up and the gallop track and everything. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a fantastic facility. And hopefully Singapore agrees and we can have a successful event there.
And so you do get to drive by it a lot. So is the turf and everything all finished there?
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, they seem to be a little secretive about what's going on there. We have our horse trials, Mary Coldren runs horse trials there quite often, but we're still over at the old section, which is a little frustrating for us riders, because they've got these multi-million-dollar arenas there that we're not using, but I think they're saving it up for this the big one in October, and then hopefully we'll have better access to it there. They've also put in a beautiful turf gallop track for the racehorse people, and from what I can tell, the turf on the gallop where the cross country is going to be is looking pretty good.
Right, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I can't wait. And who else do you have going there? So you got Fernhill Singapore. Do you have any others aiming for that event?
Yeah, I've got my little thoroughbred Sea of Clouds who just keeps chipping away and getting a little better all the time. He was, I think, 6th or 7th on the weekend, and I didn't really pull the trigger on him on the cross country. So, he's a great cross country horse, and obviously he's a full thoroughbred. He's by Malibu Moon, and so he's got a great gallop on him. And yeah, we're always working pretty hard at the other 2 phases, the dressage and the show jumping. But it'll be his first 5-star, and he was trained a couple of 100 yards down the road from there. So with Graham Motion, cool. So it'll be a kind of cool thing for him to go there and do his first 5-star at Fair Hill, which is where he did a lot of his race training.
That's a Seattle Slough descendant.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I'm assuming he'll have his own little cheering section there from kind of the local thoroughbred people and that.
Yeah, well, let's hope there's still cheering on the 3rd day, John. So we'll. No, he does have a little following, and Anita Motion is his biggest cheering squad, and she'll be rallying all the troops to watch there. And I also have another ex Motion horse in Lincoln's Address, who's an up and coming horse, and he'll be at Fair Hill, but hopefully he'll be in the young horse class there.
It's going to be a busy week, man. So where do you go next? Do you go to Stableview? Or are you going to that event, or you said you're going to have one more run with him?
Yeah, so I think he's actually ended at the AECs, but when I was doing my planning, I don't think I looked at it quite hard enough, and it's a bit close to Great Meadow. So I think I'll pull them both out of the AECs and just run them at Stableview.
Got it.
And then that'll work out pretty well for the Fair Hill event then.
Perfect. So you guys heard that here first. The first 2 scratches from the AEC come from Mr. Phillip Dutton.
Remind me to tell my secretary wife as well.
Yes, I understand completely.
We'll be looking for you in the end gate if it's not scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly. When they're calling for you at the gate, we'll be like, no, he's a scratch. I promise he's not coming. They won't believe us because they'll think we're just trying to get you eliminated.
Yeah.
And so you are actually right now not at home in Pennsylvania. You are someplace else. So you are at home now, but where are you?
Well, more exciting news for your podcast, but yes, Ivy and I and some partners, Kevin Keane and a couple of others, bought a small property in Loxahatchee in Florida. And
wow!
So we flew here this morning and just trying to see how things are going to work and where the trailers are going to park, and we need to maybe get a couple of more paddocks and a little water jump and a couple of ditches, and we're off and running.
So for those who don't know Florida geography, Loxahatchee is real close to Wellington, right? So you're down in southern Florida.
Yes, that's correct. And we've been coming here for a few years now, and I really enjoy it. very inspiring and great for my riding, and a little bit warmer than Aiken. And so we're going to, excited to get here and sort of realize how big the equestrian world is, and sort of intermingle with the dressage and show jumping guys a bit more than we normally do, and try to get involved there. And Olivia's, our daughter's quite serious about her riding career as well, so I think it'll be good for her to experience this as well.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. And so that'll be the full-time winter place. You won't be going to Aiken anymore then?
No, obviously we'll always go to Aiken. It's a very, very special place, and we have some great friends there, and we're still heavily involved in the eventing Grand Prix there. So yes, we will be there from time to time, but we've sold our property in Aiken and so reinvested here.
Got it. Yeah, no, Aiken is pretty awesome, and I'm excited to be, I know Rick is as well, excited to be heading up for Stableview there in pretty short order.
Yes, no, Barry Olaf has really set a whole different level of what you can do with eventing, and making it an all-round, all-season event with his irrigation there. It's pretty remarkable. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that facility really is second to none, and being Ocala people, I think Rick and I are both pretty partial to Ocala, but there's a lot to love about Aiken as well, and it's a great place to go, and I always have a good time when I go up there.
Absolutely.
So we obviously want to make sure that we touch base with you on the Olympics. You just got home from there, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick break, check in with some of our sponsors, and then we're going to come back, and I want all the dirty details on Tokyo.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Higher Standards Leather Care brings joy to a chore that every rider, whether Western or English, competition or trail, has to do: clean and care for our tack. The saddle soap comes in 4 scents, all named after beloved horses: Ben's Rosemary Mint, Buzz's Citrus Ginger, Fox's Vanilla Lavender, and Woody's Confidence. For those who prefer a fragrance-free soap, Plain Bay is our unscented option. Our leather balm is a rich conditioner, and like the soap, is all handmade in small batches. Find us at hsleathercare.com to order direct or to find out if your favorite tack store is one of our retailers. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique uses manual pressure and stretching to release points of restriction, leading to freer movement, reduced soreness, and restored range of motion. He has a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle. You can quickly identify and correct any balance issues and can adjust your saddle on site. I personally have Grant work on all of my event horses to keep them feeling their best before, during, and after their competitions. Grant is based in Florida year-round, but regularly travels to Georgia, Tennessee, and the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Hi, I'm Liz Halliday Sharp. I'm an international event rider based in Ocala, Florida, and Lexington, Kentucky. We love our Jump for Joy jumps. We're able to take the fillers and portables with us back and forth between our 2 locations, which is really helpful. And we especially love the cross-country portable fences. We have lots of different ones so that we can bring them between Lexington and Ocala, and we've always got something exciting for the horses to learn and jump over. We love our fences, and we would recommend Jump for Joy to anybody.
When it comes time to compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That's why Elemental Fit Lab, the home of CrossFit antics, is my home gym. Coach Vilma and her team create a fun, welcoming environment for athletes of all levels. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, Elemental Fit Lab will guide you towards a stronger, healthier version of you. Mention the Jon and Rick Show to get 3 free personal training sessions with enrollment.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams at Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information. Welcome back to the Jon and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We're still here with Phillip Dutton. Phillip, I know y'all just got back from Tokyo. Now you just had your win with Singapore at Great Meadows. We want to know now how that trip was for you, because I know it was a little bit different. You've been to how many Olympics now?
That was my 7th, Rick.
So that had to have been one of the more weird Olympics, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, certainly it was different. And obviously there's so much disappointment with what's happened with COVID, but probably, from my point of view, the Olympics, the Japanese people did put on a spectacular event and didn't leave anything to chance or cut corners anywhere. The facility was unbelievable, and it is such a shame that they weren't able to have people there to experience it like we did. And obviously we did it on a pretty shortened version. We weren't allowed out of the hotel, only from the hotel to the venue. That's basically the only way that they were able to keep everybody doing what we did. And so we didn't get to see anything of Japan either, but I have nothing but praise for the people and the way they did it and went about it.
Definitely, we at least had great viewership. I mean, we were able to follow you a lot with the live stream, which was appreciated. Doug did tell us y'all didn't stay in the village. You stayed off campus, and that was probably a little bit better for you than staying on campus. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a pretty unique experience to stay in the Olympic Village, but under these circumstances, the less people you got exposed to, the less chance you had to contact the virus. And if obviously we were tested daily, and if you did happen to test positive, well then I wasn't quite sure what happened, but there's a chance that you weren't able to compete. So the ramifications are pretty big,
So that kind of brings up the conversation about what was going in your mind when y'all you had to go to Germany first for a couple of weeks, right? Or 10 days. And then from Germany into Tokyo, correct?
Yeah. So we had the horse quarantine part in Germany, and that was in Aachen, which, it worked out pretty ideal. Obviously, there was a record amount of rain and flooding, which, interfered with our galloping and that kind of stuff, which was pretty unforeseen. But yes, that was where the first leg of the trip was in Germany, and then we flew then to Tokyo from there. So
I know Eric had a pretty good plan put together for y'all, and you, Boyd, and Doug, and of course Tammy, y'all all worked really hard. Once you got there and the performance, look, we had a completion. How do you feel about y'all's performance at the Olympics this year? I personally think y'all did a great job. What do you feel?
Well, it was, if I want to be totally honest, it was pretty humbling. We were pretty much outgunned. Yes, I mean, I've been on quite a few teams now where we haven't completed, unfortunately, but so that was a great thing. I thought Boyd and Doug, really rode their asses off and did what we could. It's one of those things where, in past competitions, you might be a little bit back in the dressage, and then you go to the cross country, and usually one of those leading teams one of the riders drops away or falls off, and that never happened. I mean, in these teams, these countries, the leading countries now are so bloody good that
right.
Yes, everybody's good on the flat, but then they put it on the cross country too, and the standard of horses now is pretty astonishing. And so it was a bit of a kick in the ass for us, because we were hoping to do better, but you know what, it could have been worse too.
That's true. I mean, obviously there's points to be saved. And I think to your point, the dressage probably wasn't up to what y'all thought it was going to be. And then you had some time on the cross country, and then you had some rails. But I think, Phillip, us looking in and you being in 7 Olympics, having this completion was really important, I think, don't you? And I know all the other stuff, I think y'all can work on going along the way.
Yeah, and I think, not to be, I'm not one to make excuses, but the trip the horses had to make from the United States over there, like virtually their last gallop was at Great Meadow.
Right.
And so, all that kind of stuff plays a part, and then, we didn't get to do as much as we wanted in Aachen, and it was just a long, drawn-out process for us to get there. And I think, having a little bit more international experience closer to that event, which we weren't able to do because of COVID, would be helpful as well. So, I think looking ahead, there's lots of different ways that we could, improve things to make it better, and it spurred everybody on.
I agree. Hey, Jon, I'm going to hand the wand over to you, let you talk a little bit.
Okay. Well, Philip, I guess the thing I'd be interested in is what you thought of the cross country. I know, the 3 of you were able to go out there and jump clear rounds, but the clock actually became pretty influential. And so, to maybe take us through sort of what you thought of the course when you walked it, and then how it rode for you when you were out there.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a pretty unique terrain. It's the cross country was built on a what do you call it? A trash
landfill.
Heap or a landfill, yep. And so it was a lot of up and down, a lot of turning. The footing was pretty extraordinarily good. There was one section that got a bit deep, but apart from that, it was very good. But right from the get-go, Jon, I think all of you would have walked it and thought, oh, it's not overly big, which is true. But it was very much like, I think in the first minute, there was 6 or 8 jumps. So right from the get-go, like Derek sort of set down the standard that, you basically had a lot of jumping to do, and you had to be efficient on the approach and on away from the jumps. So a lot of turning, a lot of accelerating, and you needed a horse that could go from, a short canter to flat out and top speed very quickly. And, a horse that could pick up those jumps out of stride. And obviously it was wasn't that long a course, but because of the heat and the terrain, it rode like a, 10 or 11 minute course, which was, around the 7, I think it was.
Yeah. So did it ride like an 11-minute course in that the endurance side was there, but it looked like it was intense, like a short course?
Yes, exactly. So the intensity of it was there. And, obviously those really top end classy horses, they handle it well, particularly, some of the English horses and Andrew Hoy's horse. I mean, they just, it didn't, so, I mean, it can be done. And all credit to our American designer, Derek DeGracia. I think he did a great job. I mean, obviously there was the one horse fatality. There was some conjecture a little bit about the broken pins or the frangible pins. And I believe that and Jon, you'd be the one to explain this to the listeners. The different colored pins now have different tension, breaking tensions.
Right.
So a couple of the ones on the corners, which have less breaking tension, broke. But speaking to Dave Voss, who, I think is partners with you in designing or helping with this, he felt satisfied after watching the videos that it did help the horses, and it wasn't just like knocking a show jump down. It was actually, the concussion that the horse hit it with was going to cause that horse to have a fall or very close to it. So.
Right. Yeah. It's certainly something I know the FEI has already looked into for sure. And they are making some tweaks to the whole system, which I think all of us as competitors are glad to know that the FEI is actually looking at it and making a few tweaks with MIM. So I think hopefully that will create a level playing field. But I guess that's my question is, with all of that said, Philip, I felt like, I'm wondering what the riders felt like. I felt like, okay, maybe they activated a little bit easily on those corners, but it was the same for every single horse.
Yes. I mean, I think the big thing here is, from a rider's point of view, we've got to know what the playing field is. Like, you you don't want to me, you don't want to just come out with that at the Olympic Games. If we have to go around and protect our horse from the front rail, that's fine. We just got to know how to, when we've got to do that. When it's not quite fair is if we're used to a certain way and then all of a sudden it's changed and then people get penalized for that. So, I mean, it's similar to the flag rules. I think everybody's got to come to terms with it and understand it well so that we can ride accordingly.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair point. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, we are actually just about out of time. So Philip, again, congratulations on the new property. Congratulations on the completion at the Olympics. Huge congratulations on the win at Great Meadow. That's awesome. And I guess Rick and I will see you at Stableview next. So that'll be fun. And we're going to actually have our next show, Rick, we're going to do some updates and try to do a lot of that show from the American Eventing Championships. So there'll be a big update on all of that. And Philip, you can check in and see everything that you missed.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, Philip.
Okay. You're welcome, Rick.
Rick Wallace.
And I have Don Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross-country, show jump, and you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right, you know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.